Hello, my name is Alex Joy, and today I'd like to start by addressing the class with a simple question. How many of you could say by a show of hands that within the last week you have used either a disposable piece of plastic silverware, a plastic bag, plastic takeout container, or anything along that lines? Now, I'm sure many of your hands are up, and mine would be too. Especially in the age of COVID, more and more food is being served as takeout, and groceries are delivered to our door in plastic bags. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is the problem with disposable plastics, or even plastics in general? They're cheap, they're easy, and they're convenient. Now, the problem is the throwaway mentality that is associated with plastics. When you use that plastic straw one time, you then in turn throw it away. At that point, it's out of your sight and out of your mind. That throwaway mentality is what I'm here to address today and looking to change. People need to understand that when that plastic straw leaves your pocket and enters that garbage can, it has the potential to live for up to 50 times longer than you and have adverse effect on ecosystems if it's not recycled properly. Now, the ecosystem that I'd like to address today is the ocean and how it is negatively affected by plastics that are polluted into it. Plastic pollution in the ocean will occur from improper recycling, landfills that are overflowing, and of course littering. Now, when plastics enter the ecosystem, the marine ecosystem, they are often broken down into microplastics, which plastics will never break down, but they will break down into pieces in under 5 millimeters or less in diameter. Now, these microplastics present an intriguing and dangerous problem to the ecosystem. They are small enough to where they are often consumed by marine sea life, and even if they don't eat enough to fatally administer a lethal dose to them, the next animal that eats that prey will transfer the plastics up the food chain. This problem has gotten so dire that scientists found traces of microplastics in our own seafood on our plates last year. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard about the sea turtles in the bottle rings. The problem doesn't stop with sea turtles, and it doesn't stop with just bottle ring plastics. Many different marine sea life and mammals are harmed by plastics every day, whether they think they're food and they choke on them, or if they get tangled in them swimming and suffocate to death. If you need one example of how dire this situation is and how much worse it will get if we fail to act soon, I'd like to introduce the concept of Garbage Island to you. This garbage island is also known as the Pacific Garbage Patch, and it is a massive landmass of plastic in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. This garbage patch is 2 times the size of Texas, 3 times the size of France. It weighs over 80,000 tons, and it is 9 feet deep into the ocean. There is a literal floating solid landmass of plastic that is accumulating in our oceans. And if this is not addressed soon, these landmasses will grow until most of the ocean is potentially covered in plastic. Plastic has reached places at this point that are even uninhabited by humans. There's been traces of plastic picked up in Antarctica and the South Pole in the oceans. Now, you may be asking yourself, how do we address this problem and how do we go about solving it? And for that, the first, probably the most difficult for many, but the most effective solution is reducing your use of single-use plastics. I challenge you to invest in reusable silverware such as bamboo or metal and keep them in your car for when you order takeout. Or pay the extra 5 cents at the grocery store for the paper bag. It may not feel like you're making a difference, but if everyone does it, it will eventually add up. Secondly, I know that none of us can potentially cut out plastics altogether. They're deeply rooted in our way of life, and that is why we must recycle them responsibly and properly. In order to do so, you can call your local recycling plant and ask them how to properly recycle your plastics, and then there's a better chance that they will not end up in an ecosystem and cause harm. Lastly, there's many problems that occurred in the past with this issue that still need to be addressed today. Of course, we can fix it going forward in the future, but it's important to clean up what we've done in the past. If you become invested in this cause, I challenge you to go to a beach cleanup or a river cleanup. It is honestly the best feeling in the world to pick up plastic out of an ecosystem and know that you're saving animals' lives and cleaning up the environment. And lastly, I challenge you to spread awareness about this issue. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, and next time you see someone throw away a piece of plastic, inform them not to do so. And next time you see a piece of plastic on the ground, pick it up and throw it away. Thank you.